I thought I could forgive infidelity. I've been with my partner on and off for quite some time. We were together for the last year, and throughout it all she's been cheating on me. Not just cheating, but has lied about it every single time I've confronted her. She's also still somewhat in communication with the person she cheated with and won't block them. I was under the impression I could forgive her and move on. But she minimizes how abusive the situation was, and says it was only emotional cheating. I know what I need to do, but I feel guilty because I told her we could work on it. I'm certain I'll never trust her again. I just feel guilty because I told her we could fix it, and with the holidays coming up I feel bad breaking it off. I don't want to take her into the new year with me either. I feel stuck. Advice? Redditor's reactions. Next story after. Redditor 1. If someone cheats, then they are making a conscious decision at the cost of your happiness and emotional stability to betray you for physical or emotional pleasure. If they lie about cheating, it means they either don't respect your intelligence and believe you won't find out, or don't care about you at all, even to summon the effort to lie convincingly. Can you have a person in your life, in the most sensitive and crucial access point of that life, a partner, who betrays you like this? Who treats you with abject cruelty in your most vulnerable area? I personally couldn't. Being burned once is an accident. Burning your hand every day on the stove. It's a choice. Good luck to you. Redditor 2. I tried to work it out. Lasted a week before I caught her doing it again. Lamau. Dump her, she'll always belong to the streets. Redditor 3. Okay. I have done this a few times, but it never hurts to spell it out one more time. You can't get into a relationship without getting a bunch of it on you. It's like separating two boards that have been glued together. A little bit of one board always goes with the other. So you will be walking around with some of the other person stuck to you for a while. It takes about 3 months to 6 months to get past this in any meaningful way. I have a standard rule for clients that make no life-changing decisions for the first year out of a serious relationship, and that year needs to be spent sorting out baggage. Moving back from that, there are things you can do to keep on track and not backslide. A. No contact with the old flame. Period. Full stop. No emails, texts, phone calls, messages in a bottle, smoke signals, etc., etc. Nothing. Zip. 0. Nada. B. Memorabilia goes in a box. Out of sight, out of mind. Souvenirs, gifts, used scenedoms, etc., etc. all get put away. Preferably someplace not easily accessed impulsively. C. Guideline A. C. Avoid places you have gone before and places where it is likely that your former flame would frequent. You will probably have to let go the friends as well, as you don't need any offers to help patch things up or unsolicited updates on who and what said former flame is doing. D. No emotion-driven entertainment, including chick flicks, Hallmark Hall of Fame, Can't Live Without You themed music and romance novels. E. Get to duck out of your house. Do not isolate. Identify 2 new activities that you had not gotten around to because heaven and earth moved around your ex. The more physical these activities are, the better. F. Get to duck out of your house. Reconnect with those folks who dropped off your radar because you had assumed that the love of your life was going to be the be-all and end-all of life as we know it. G. Get to duck out of your house. Don't do anything in your house or alone that you can't do someplace where there are people. At the very least, you should be out for brisk walks around the block once a day. Set yourself a goal of saying something to at least 2 new people each day. Get to work. You got yourself into this pickle. Time to get yourself out. Any questions? Op. Answer. Thank you. I'm moving out of state. Had this planned before the split, but other than that, no super emotional choices made. I appreciate this advice. Story 2. Feel trapped. My marriage. 49M. Throwaway account for obvious reasons. Sorry, this is going to be a bit of a rant, but I need to get it off my chest. From the outside everything looks good. We, me 49M, wife 49F, have been married now 24 years, together for 29. Stable job, nice house. We have 4 wonderful kids, 11, 13, 16, 19. No infidelity. However, my wife seems to have treated me negatively. Nothing I do is good enough. If I cook dinner, she complains about too little or too much salt. While driving, she kept making comments like, you should have changed lanes earlier, or watch your speed, you're doing 32 seconds out of 30. It felt like I was gradually getting tired. I can't remember the last time she complimented me. When something goes wrong, the defaults always blame me. Where are my keys? I left them on the table and now they're gone. You must have taken them. I looked around and found them in her coat pocket. We were stuck in traffic while driving somewhere the other day. Apparently it was my fault for not praying before getting out. After our youngest son was born, our childhood life almost completely dried up. Now we can't even hold hands anymore. I find myself working longer hours. I just don't want to deal with the negativity that comes home. Now a lot of the time she complains to me and I just turn off the phone and barely hear what she is saying. I feel empty inside. We almost never fight or argue. I just don't have the strength to fight. Do as she says and I will follow suit. We have friends whose 22-year-old son has a drug problem. After he stole several times, his parents were forced to throw him out of their home and he is now homeless. My wife wanted to take him in because she said living in a good Christian home would help him reform. I said I thought it was a very bad idea. She told me I had no faith because I was too self-centered. So we ended up with a bed for him in the living room. He stayed with us for a few days and then one day he asked if he could make coffee, and when he did he said he just went out for a cigarette and never came back. My kids have been saving up to buy a guitar. The jar is money they've earned doing housework in the kitchen. We found it lacking. My wife blew me off when he apparently asked for a cup of coffee. If I had gone and made him a cup he would never have gone into the kitchen, found the money and been tempted. It wasn't the whole thing itself that hurt me so much, but the anger and resentment she continued to show towards me. I can't stand her always being angry and sad and blaming me for everything. It felt like I was just not right for her. She often complains about how I have failed to provide spiritual leadership in our family, but I will not pretend that I am not. I will not proclaim that the Bible is the inerrant word of God if I feel that life has destroyed all faith from me. Today I am an agnostic, a borderline atheist. I just don't know how much longer I can go on like this. I dream of packing up and leaving, but every time I think about how it will affect my children, I just can't. I just feel stuck. Next year is our 25th wedding anniversary. I can't stand couples parties where everyone is congratulating us and saying how happy we look. Redditor's reactions. Story 2 after. Redditor 1, I can't imagine living like that, I'm so sorry. Redditor follow up, I don't feel sorry for Op. He's an adult perfectly capable of making decisions. I feel sorry for the children, having to grow up like that. Abusive and toxic mother with a spineless father. Redditor 2, well, you could continue to withdraw. Or you could call her out each and every time she offends. Don't be a backseat driver, please. It's distracting and makes me less safe on the road. It wasn't my fault that kid stole money. I didn't want to invite him in the first place. Please stop criticizing me. She may not even be aware how often she's doing this stuff, and she certainly isn't getting in the moment feedback about how it affects you. That's on her, but it's on you, too. Redditor follow up, this will not work after 29 years, the meal is already cooked. It's why I divorced at 42 after 20 plus years, as I knew nothing would ever change after so many discussions of the same type. I used to joke I was responsible for World War II and the invasion of Iraq because everything else was always my fault or deflected if I simply could not be blamed. The last 7 years have been peace on earth in my life, though, as sometimes divorce is the only option. Op's wife needs to it on him to feel good about herself, usually driven by insecurity. You ain't changing that. Without an eager desire by her to seek therapy and a come to Jesus talk will probably backfire on this occasion. What is obvious is neither of them are happy, as this is how relationships go when both are miserable. Redditor 3, problems like this can be resolved, but it takes a willingness to do so from both partners. Would you tell your wife how her constant criticism is affecting you? Have you really told her that it would hurt your feelings and make you want to leave the relationship? Do you know everything that made her displeased? Do you understand exactly what she means when she says she needs spiritual direction? Couples therapy can be helpful in situations like yours. The cause of your current relationship dynamic is your communication with each other, which has created a lot of resentment over time. Oftentimes trying to work it out alone will fail because you both lack communication skills that got you where you are without you even realizing it. You both need to learn new skills to improve your relationship. If you don't get the help you need, the problem will definitely not go away and things will only get worse until you leave the relationship. Of course, if you don't see any value in repairing your relationship at this point, you can end it before it gets worse. Happily divorced parents are better for their families than unhappily married parents. Redditor follow up, I like this suggestion. You didn't explain after the op if you contacted your wife how her constant negativity and criticism is affecting you. Of course she should know. Right now, based on what you've said about her behavior and how long it's been going on, it sounds like she's getting defensive when you start calling her out for doing this to you. If you have any hope or intention of saving your marriage, Therapy may be a necessary intervention. But if you don't love your wife anymore, you should leave. No one should have to live in constant pain. Let me tell you, kids can be confused and hurt during a divorce, but if things are really as bad as you describe, they will see it and take it. You and your wife are setting very negative models for your children, and they will unconsciously base their attitudes and actions in the relationship on the same principles. Not only that, but if you're constantly depressed and withdrawn, it seems unlikely that you'll be the best father you can be. 2 happily divorced parents are better than 1 or none who remain married. Good luck, friends. Marriage and life is very hard. Story 2, cheat on me? Okay, have fun with mono for next couple of months. First time posting plus mobile, sorry for all formatting issues. So backstory. I have been with this girl for over 2 years and I am obsessed with her. Extremely in love. It's not love, it's passion. Everything she does makes me happy, even little things like how she laughs or how she walks, talks, looks, everything. From the day I met her, I knew she was the one. Boy, was I wrong. So after about 2 years of being in a relationship, we've become a bit estranged, mostly due to my anxiety and frequent panic attacks, which I try to control but can't always control due to the overwhelming pressure of a new job. You paranoid people with sexual anxiety will understand, so she moved away. I know she won't spend as much time with me as she used to because I'm so dirty. Meanwhile, she has found a job and things are looking up. Somehow she's happier. She lies about her new co-workers, and I'm really glad she works somewhere where she doesn't have to deal with the constant stress that I do. In short, the boss is an ass. I really want to be there for her, but I can't because of panic attacks, so I try not to interfere with her happiness and try to solve my own problems. When I found out I couldn't, I tried to invite her to dinner or something to celebrate her work, and I tried to talk to her about my problems. It might sound like I'm needy, but at the time I was. I've wanted something positive in my life because I was in shit. We were talking at dinner and she dropped the ball on me. She said she slept with a man at her new job. I am very sorry. Mind you, we're 2 years into a relationship and I'm working a job I hate to save enough money to ask questions and all that shit. So I just sat there and stared at him in disbelief. She rubs her hair. This hurt me even more and I broke up with him right then and there, but she couldn't help it. The constant calls, messages, and nonsense were driving my anxiety levels up. A few months later she sent me a picture of her and her new BF hired guy with a message, your services are no longer required. It killed me inside, so I blocked her number. 5 months later, I received a call from an unknown number. She apologized and shit, and I was in the mood to avenge my broken heart. Being such a stingy person, I called my friend for a drink. At the time, my girlfriend had just come down with mononucleosis and I knew she was still infected with the contagious virus. So I jokingly told my friend that we should celebrate her recovery by drinking orange juice from wine glasses. It sounded harmless, so my friend took it. When the celebration was over, I carefully rinsed the orange juice from the bottom of the glass, but not from the top, and put it in a box. The next day I called my ex and suggested we have a romantic dinner together. I went the whole 9 yards. Rice was previously cooked, candles were lit and wine was poured. One in normal glass and one in special glass. I even cut up some oranges to serve on the glass so she wouldn't ask why it tasted a little orange. So we had a good night and sex, and I'm not afraid of mono because I had it when I was 9 or something. Within the next month I was in a relationship with him again and all my friends were asking why I did this to myself. If only you knew. She coughed and sneezed and all, and I knew I had hit the jackpot. So she went to the hospital and it turned out to be mono. I stayed with her for 3 months. Take care of her like I'm the best partner ever, and when she gets better, the doctor tells her to wait about 6 months before she can have normal contact with other people. And then I decided to strike. You see, you were in tough time and I was there for you and did not cheat on you or anything. Why are you going back there? It was over a year ago. Because I got you mono. Got up, left, blocked her number and never spoke to her again. I was afraid she will try to charge me with attempted murder or something, anxiety but she never even tried to contact me. So that is the story of my petty revenge with nuclear results. Hope you bared trough it. Redditor's reaction. Story 3 after. Redditor 1. Legit thought it said Momo. Redditor 2. I don't understand the comedy of drinking orange juice from a wine glass to celebrate something. Or why she was taunting you months after the breakup. Op answer. First one is because it is random and after mononucleosis you can't drink alcohol for few more months, so we were pretending we are drinking cocktails, haha. Second one, I don't know, you will have to ask her, haha. Story 2. Entitled Jerk get his car crushed. This story happened about 15 years ago. Cast. Op me female, 5'11. Bob friend store manager. Chief my boss. Entitled Jerk. Who lost his car. Okay, background. I worked as a firefighter as an investigator for an independent department for information. An investigator was the rank of LT. And was based out of a large station, 2 engines, 1 newer 110 tower ladder truck, relative later 1 chief car, and 1 utility truck. Every day the food duties changed from firefighter to firefighter. My chief's turn to cook when this happened. My friend Bob worked as a GM of a small grocery store. There was a long empty space in front of the store marked with the following sign: emergency vehicles only. Enter Entitled Jerk. He had a nice looking BMW car and always parked in the above spot every week. Bob told Entitled Jerk that he couldn't park there. I can park wherever I effing want. I make more in a day that you make in a week. My friend calls me complaining about Entitled Jerk. I agree to go and watch the spot. I get into our utility truck, which had the department decals on the door and a single red light on the dash. I park in the emergency vehicles only spot. As I am walking and I hear "you can't park there, it's my special spot." I turn and look at Entitled Jerk. "Excuse me," I ask. "I am on official duties and can park there." I pointed to the decal on the door. Entitled Jerk looks and says, "You can't be a firefighter, you're a girl. Move your truck and leave C-word." Now I'm proud of my job. In a department of 2,000 I was one of 5 women on the department. I graduated top in my class. I have a shocked looking expression on my face. I get really pissed off. I walk into my friend's office to get more information about his problem with Entitled Jerk, as Bob explains the continuous parking violations, and I see a small notice on the fire suppression system sprinklers that said the inspection was coming up. I smile as I get an idea. Cue the revenge. I get some information, leave Bob's office and get into the truck heading back to the station. I arrive and head into my chief's office. I tell him of Entitled Jerk and what he said and does. Chief is a 6 feet 6 inches 320 Samoan. He sees everyone as family. Chief's face gets bright red. I explained my idea and he gets very happy. He rushes out and calls a station meeting. I lay out my idea. We send out the station to do a fire drill inspection by sending the old truck and 1 engine to the store. My friend will call the station the next time Entitled Jerk parks in the fire lane. Skip to 2 weeks later. Bob called the station stating that Entitled Jerk had just parked. As I am thanking him, I hear his fire alarm go off. I rush and change into my investigator uniform with turnout gear, tell Chief, and send the trucks out. I ride in the Quint. We arrive and I see Entitled Jerk's car right in the emergency vehicle spot. I radio to have 1 engine to pull right in front of Entitled Jerk's car, and the truck to park right beside the driver's side door. I get out and the engineer starts setting up the ladder, which means 4 very large and heavy support struts go down and 1 crushes the front of his hood. The alarm goes off. The lineman breaks his windows as he runs the large 5-inch draft line from the pump to the standpipes, the fire access to the sprinkler system. Through his front seats, I go in to find Bob hurriedly getting people out as the alarm is going off. Entitled Jerk runs out of the store, sees his car and goes ballistic. I radio the PD dispatch and request a few officers to the store as I had a male was impeding a fire operation. The dispatcher says that they will send a few officers. 3 officers show up and I ask them to follow me. They do when I call out, "Hey, leave my firefighters alone." Entitled Jerk turns and sees me. He rushes up screaming that I'll pay for damaging his precious baby. His car. I stop him and tell him that if he didn't leave that he would be arrested. He gets in my face, "You did this, you'll have your job for this." He then turns pushing me back. The officers and I rush and tackle Entitled Jerk to the ground. After they cuff him I calmly inform EB that he was under arrest for assault and interference with a fire investigation and that his car would be towed for parking in a fire lane. I later found out that it was crushed. Entitled Jerk got 12 months probation for pushing me and interfering with a fire operation. He also got a fine of $500 for parking, the cost of the tow, and he lost his nice BMW. Moral of this story: don't park where you shouldn't or bad things will happen. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, this should be in our pro-revenge. Redditor 2, the schadenfreude is strong in this one. Bravo, up. Good job. Redditor 3, this is why I love walking down the main road near me that has clear ways from 4:30 p.m. The look of people seeing their BMWs, Porsches, etc. getting driven off as they walk out brings me great joy. I wish I could have witnessed this though.